Seems like it was just earlier today that I was writing and recording for my review of the first Corpse Party game and talking about how the PS Vita doesn't have a lot of horror titles at its disposal. But here I am again with another review in anticipation of Corpse Party Blood Drive, which is releasing for the Vita in October. With the Corpse Party saga, it is well known from my previous review and in general that Blood Drive isn't going to be something that can be played on its own. You'll need to play the previous titles to know the story, and they're titles that are very worth playing. Without further delay, here is my official retro video review of the second game of the Heavenly Host Elementary saga, Corpse Party Book of Shadows. It's difficult to explain the story of Book of Shadows because of how miscombobulated it is. For example, the intro and the secret ending chapter take place after the events of Corpse Party and are a prologue to Corpse Party Blood Drive. Then a few of the other chapters are also canon with the timeline and take place before and during the original game to give you more background information on some of the side characters, and the bulk of the game takes place in an alternate universe where the students from Kisaragi High School are repeating the events that took place in the first game with subtle memories to try to change their future. Despite all the confusion, Book of Shadows still delivers a very chilling and gripping story. A lot of the twists and turns you'll see, even in the alternate universe chapters, are some of the creepiest and most chilling twists that the series has come up with so far. Unlike the previous game, which was a 2D adventure game with puzzle-solving elements, Book of Shadows is a visual novel with some light exploration and puzzle elements. While there is a certain feel for exploring the school and finding items, you will be driven mostly by story events. Now, as you progress through the story, there will be three main venues for your progression. The first will be dialogue choices and story content. The second will be grid-based exploration as you explore the school. And the third will be investigation in various rooms for new items. The dialogue sequences do come up every once in a while where you'll have one or two choices, and 9 times out of 10, one of these choices will lead to a good ending, and another choice will lead to a very bad ending where you will get brutally murdered. The nice thing about this is that you can save your game anytime you want in any dialogue sequence you want. So as soon as that choice pops up, you hit the triangle button, save your game, and you don't have to worry about redoing a bunch of stuff if you make the wrong choice. The second element is the grid-based exploration. When your objective isn't incredibly clear and being driven by a story scene, you will be able to explore the school, similar to how you did in the previous game. Tap the L button and you'll get a little HUD menu showing a grid form of the map of the floor you're on, and you'll be able to direct your character to whatever room you want. This is required for running around and finding specific items you need. This also leads into the last progression statement, which is investigation. When you investigate, you will go into a room and you will have a pointer you can move around the room to be able to investigate people, corpses, and items. This is very, very similar to how investigating rooms works in the Danganronpa series, so anybody who has played those series will feel right at home during these sequences. Overall, the game has 7 main chapters to it, and there's also an unlockable Chapter 8, which is a prologue to Blood Drive. Past all of these, assuming you import your save data from the first Corpse Party, which I can confirm does work on the Vita and PSTV, to not have to repetitively grind other chapters to unlock Chapter 8, the game should take you about 12 to 15 hours to finish. For a visual novel, and compared to the first game, it's got quite a lot of content to it. As far as the visual presentation is concerned, there is a noticeable blur in the character models and the CG artwork, much like there was in the original Corpse Party. The main thing you're going to need to worry about with the presentation is the fact that sometimes a save file will crash your system. I have one save file that was at the beginning of Chapter 4, and every time I tried to load that save file, the game would crash, I'd close it, and the system would have a hard time opening it back up again. This happened both on the Vita and the PlayStation TV, so it's not a one-time deal. My only advice during this is that you do not make a save data during the concert event at the beginning of Chapter 4. The only other downer I would mention about the game is the fact that a lot of the controls are not explained to you. During the grid exploration, you're required to hit the L button to bring up the map, but nothing told me anything about this in the slightest bit, so as soon as I got stuck, I just started hitting buttons until something did something. Corpse Party Book of Shadows is a unique blend of various games, such as the original Corpse Party, Danganronpa, and a few more games. On the downside, the controls are not explained to you, leaving you almost as confused as when you go through the story, and there are a couple issues with the presentation and the save data. Regardless of the faults, this game's story is just as chilling as its predecessor, and is well worth the venture to prepare you for the chilling final chapter in Blood Drive this October. PlayStation Vita Reviews rates Corpse Party Book of Shadows a 7 out of 10. If you would like to comment on this, feel free to below or on my site at vitareviews.net. If you would like more information about PlayStation TV compatible games like this game, hit the description below or hit up my site so you can take a look at my North American compatibility list. And if you'd like to donate to my cause and projects, feel free to with the link below or the donate button on my main site.